from the really upper class, jumping on my bonnet.
It's like they lost their mind, didn't it?
Right, right, you know, it's
Yeah.
crazy. We
Let me
check them for,
let me tell you something. Those
and
those
I
those are the
listen.
ones. Those are the ones that I used to have the most problem with. Right? The-
Right? And I put this in this way. Okay, a
yeah.
friend of mine, we're in like another cabin. He had a Japanese guy. Guy is very drunk,
Mm,
and the guy get in the vehicle, sit down very calmly, you know, and guy taking where he's going. No bad behavior at all. So my friend asked him the question. And my friend from JA, he asked him the question. How come Japanese guy said Japanese ambassador? Japanese ambassador. You know how this is,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Yes. I.
Right? What he's saying is, look, when I come out, I'm an ambassador for my people, for my country. Right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Cannot lose face. How the people see my people is how I behave on the street.
That's right. That's right. At all times. At all
At
times.
all times.
Mm-hmm.
At all times.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? At all times.
Mm-hmm.
How the people see me out there, they also look at my people in the same manner. If I behave badly, then
Mm-hmm.
it reflects on my community, on my people. So I cannot go out there and behave badly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And our people, many of our people don't seem to get that. You understand what I'm saying? Right? I've seen it on the street. I've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
Believe we have to behave in a certain way, like this, like that. No. You know, my grandparents teach me one thing, which is says, manners and good behavior will take you anywhere in the world. And I tie that around my neck and I carry it
Mm.
all my life. Be polite, be respectful,
Mm.
but don't take your hand.
You know, one of the things I feel maybe it's because I did participate in martial arts, and one of the things what I feel that is one of the mainstay, and it has been with me throughout my life, is that is that when we was doing the weapon training, he said one of the things that my sensei taught us was that although you're doing weapon training, and you know it's not a thing to just show, because if you brandish a weapon if you brandish a weapon, it is to be used.
Of course,
It is not to be used to put fear into somebody or anything like that. The only time that you brandish a weapon is when you use it. Yeah. And
mm-hmm.
so therefore all the other things that you have is like defensive or an offensive move or anything like that. And even in our discussions or anything like that, right? There's a lot of things before you put the final my life is in danger and I have to take this evasive action here. Yeah. Therefore, even in our discussions, you you would never you would never tear down somebody, right? Or put them in a position of total dismay, right? Of breaking them down to the extent of that they have nothing to stand on, without rebuilding them back up to a state of understanding or inner standing and balance again.
Well, exactly. I mean, as I said, you may
Mm,
see a person down there,
mm,
picking up things from the bin
mm,
in the street.
Yeah. Go. I'll tell you the reason why I'm laughing about or smiling about that. Really, go ahead, my brother. Go ahead.
That man respect. No, because you don't know what put that person where he is, and he's picking up then that he's not a human being and that he's not sensible. He doesn't respect. You understand me? And people look down at that person because that person is down there, And my uncle tell me something, look, don't mock at people. Because he was telling me back home, there's, you have some of these people who are kind of idiotic, like, you know what I'm saying? And people take mock at them because they're in that state. And my uncle was telling me, look, these children, in order to have some fun, this man was standing up in a ladder like that. And they put things and they hit the guy, I'll put it like this. What they say, joke for boy is death for crappo. You know what crappo is, right?
Yeah.
Okay? My grandfather used to teach me this all the time. What is joke for boy is death for crappo. So they're throwing things at this man, and the man is up. They come down. Say, who hit me? So they want to have fun. So they point at one guy, put something and lick him, knock him out. You understand me? Because these people want to have fun. They think, oh yeah, we're going to get the man to come and chase us and we have fun or chase that guy or whatever. But it's the death of that guy.
See?
You see what I'm saying? As you were saying, be mindful of what you're saying because
Thank you.
You understand? Be mindful. Whenever somebody tell me stop, I remember this guy at work, okay? And he's always making joke with everybody, every time he passes by somebody, he has got to pull a stunt, whether he's from Cameroon. Always have to pull a stunt. And one day I saw him, and he was there picking, like ears and so forth from his face, whatever like that, with the mirror in his hand. So I said, who's a pretty boy then? Right? And one day he passed me and said, look, I don't like what you said. Making fun of me in front of these white boys. No, here we could get in a fight. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I thought this man, who, because he's making always until today full stunts with people, and that one word, and it's something which I learned in my business studies. They said, the ego of a person. Be mindful, like he said, be mindful. Don't know what a person is.
That's right.
Put it like this.
That's right. That's right.
Down watching this fly with the wall, and you slap it in his head and you box him and whatever, and he don't do nothing. He don't do nothing.
Really.
And just put the fly on the wall and he can get up and batter you down.
Well, you know what? One of the things that people don't realize, and they seem to forget very easily, right? Just because you and I won't say hold a position, right? Because nobody really holds a position. Just because you are operating in a certain way and you are providing a service, for instance, right? You may feel that a lot of people are paying attention to what you are doing, right? You may be operating in a different arena to others, right? But the thing is, what it all comes down to is you are a person, you are an individual, just like as you rightly said, that person who's picking something out of the bin, yeah,
Mhm.
you are a
Mhm.
person just like that person, yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
right. Let me tell you something now, my brother. I've got some friends, right, who have some severe disabilities,
Mhm. Mhm.
right? And sometimes I will see them out in public, and we just sat in a chat and we just sit down. I sit down with them and we have a chat and everything, or a few drink and thing, and right. And sometimes I catch the eye of some people who's watching us as we're talking and we're laughing and joking and everything. And I think to myself, why? Why is it that you would, and you could see it in their face of, wow, like, I couldn't, I wish I could do that, but I don't think I could, you
Mhm.
know?
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think to myself, well, what, in my opinion, I just see everybody. I don't know what it is. Maybe because of the way how I condition myself to see just everybody as everybody,
Of course. Of course.
right?
Of
You
course.
understand? Until they show me something different, right?
Exactly.
Even certain man who's probably have some reputation in the area,
Mhm.
I just see them as this or that or whatever. You understand?
Right.
You understand? Right? Until they show me something different, then I say, okay then. All right, that's the position you want to hold. You hold that position then, you know?
I'll give you an example. Right. Many
Mm,
years ago, when I first started taxi driving,
mm,
and I was coming up Wandsworth Bridge Road, and there's this lady, right?
mm, mm,
She like a bag lady. She have all these bags and
mm,
her foot bandage up and all these sort of things. You
mm,
know what I mean? And so as I'm passing, she waved like she wanted a taxi.
mm,
So I parked, gone past, and I thought, it seemed like this lady wanted a taxi. So I
mm,
reversed back. And when I reversed back, they said, sorry, I couldn't, maneuver. You know what I mean? She can't maneuver very well and so forth.
mm, mm,
But I want a taxi. Can I get a taxi to Park Lane?
mm,
I said, hey? I said, okay, no problem. If she's not going out of the way, I might not get paid, whatever. But she
mm,
seemed to want a ticket, and she's also okay. I take her, right?
mm.
And I take her to Park Lane. Park Lane, up near where the Hilton is. That's
Yeah,
in
yeah, yeah,
Mayfield,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I know. I'm familiar with Park Lane. There's a certain shop there I got to visit when I win the lottery.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
anyway, go on, listen.
yeah.
Yeah,
She said, knock on that door. I said, okay, I knock on the door. Come out. Oh, lady so and so.
lady. Oh,
You understand me, right?
yeah, yeah.
He so and so. But this is the state of her. Like
Mm,
a bag, one of those real bag lady. You know
mm,
me.
mm,
It's
mm,
like a trap road.
mm.
You understand, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah. I know a few. I know a few people like that as well.
You understand me?
I know
So
a few
what?
people like that. They walk with them with a bag full of newspaper and all them things there. Right?
And
Mm,
imagine that the man come out and he paid me.
mm-hmm,
It is so I'm saying, you can't just judge a person
mm-mm,
because the person is in a certain state.
mm-hmm.
You follow what I'm saying, right? You
Yeah.
don't. So many of us make judgment on people,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
and then we start abusing them and treating them badly and other things like that.
That's right. That's right. That's right. One of the things I would like us, for us to really take into consideration this strong here, right? And on this day, is to just review how you are actually looking at other people, right? Are you
Yeah,
looking at them with that prejudgmental eye, right? In other words, oh, that person there, oh, he's from the Caribbean, oh, he's from a different island, oh, he's from Africa, oh, and then before you even engage with them, you've already made a presumption of who and what that person is,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
We do, some people do it with our young people as well,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
This is why we are so disconnected in them ways there, right? And I've seen it because, like, you know even and the thing is, like, I was out yesterday evening, right? And in all honesty, I got exhausted. I was exhausted by like 9:30, 10 o'clock. I was exhausted because of that type of behavior that was happening around me, right?
Yeah.
Oh, they're this, oh, they're saying that, they're that. And I'm thinking, I don't want to be amongst this type of thing because that is not me,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to
Yeah.
be around that type of talk, right? And then when you're explaining to the person, I mean, I'm not into them type of thing there.
Right.
But their habitual thing, they go straight back into it. It's like they didn't hear what they were saying. But the fact is that they are so used to speaking and doing those things, they don't know any other way how to communicate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
right. And of course, yes, I'm the strange one. I'm the strange one. I'm not. Yeah.
It, people don't like to see people.
Mm,
I I I I, I give you my example, right?
mm,
I said 28 years ago when I had my accident,
mm,
right? And up until today, there are people, my own black people, who don't talk to me,
mm.
right? Now, at work, we have a thing. I don't know who started it because in the early days there used to be a lot of Jews who used to take up the cab trade,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
The cab,
yeah. East London was the taxi area.
the Jews, right? They knew that hey, this is a good thing. And what happened is that the grandfather would be a cab driver, the son will come to be a cab driver,
Mm,
and the son will come to be a cab driver, and so
mm-hmm,
forth, right?
mm-hmm,
They
mm-hmm,
had their raps for many, many years, right?
mm-hmm,
Okay?
mm-hmm,
It's a astute industry, right?
mm-hmm.
And so even at the airport, I don't know who started it, but we are where we work. When somebody is sick or die or anything tragedy in any family,
Yeah, you
what
have a
they
collection. Yeah.
they make a collection at the gate. They have
Mm,
set us a day and they will make a collection all day, and
mm-hmm,
then they will give it to that person or the family or whatever.
mm-hmm,
You understand what I'm saying,
mm-hmm,
right? And when I had my accident, they made a collection for me,
mm,
and this guy who was always being an antagonist to me,
mm,
because he was in the union, he said, "Look, we've always made collection here, for black people and so forth, because he was black like himself. And we've never had a collection as big like what we had for you." And
yeah.
because, right, here I become a Muslim, and here there's lots of Jews,
Mm,
and people, because the majority of the people are white. Even the people in the office, they
mm,
all was very shake up about my accident, and they all contributed,
mm,
right? And he said, "We've never had a collection with one as big like for you.
mm, mm.
People are supposed to hate you. You become a Muslim and people hate you." And
They don't listen. One of the yeah. I hear what you're saying, brother. I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying because I used to get that all the time when I was working, right?
yeah,
And when we used to have these forward assignments. Yeah. So after like 6 months, a year and a half in these places, we'll have a celebration thing and all that. And people will always, they would sing my praise. They would sing my praises, of being like a nice person and all them things there, right? And you could see the resent on some of these people fierce them, you know. And
Why?
Huh?
Why do you resent one of your brothers?
Exactly. Exactly. One of your work colleague or something, yeah.
So the thing is, like, look, see, I look at human being as human being. Doesn't, yeah, right? And especially we're working together. I say we're working together. We're all in the same boat.
Exactly. You're doing there to provide for your family, make a living for yourself. Yeah.
One thing, right? So and you have black men who would come to that gate and they would put anything in that basket.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the same time I had an accident, there's another brother of ours. He had an incident very similar. They don't come here to collect for that guy. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They come here to collect for that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Because they know the character of everybody is there.
Mm-hmm.
The mindset of everybody. You see what I'm saying? And what I'm saying is, look, I said, okay, we're there. I come in, wait a minute. That man, I don't know his situation. I put something in it. But even if it's 50 pence a pound, you put something in there. You have money. It all adds up. And guys will come there. And let us put it this way, right? Our job is, I said to myself, how can we be mean? How can a cab driver be mean? Because we're very fortunate in the context that we are, right? That
being able to earn a living,
everyday people give us money. They don't have to give us. You understand what I'm saying, right? People give you, right? You understand me, right? The fee £5, he gives you £6. He didn't have to give you that pound. And so you are so mean that one of your brothers is ill and you think it's hard to take a pound out of your basket and put it into that thing. That's how some of us is, my brother.
Listen. Look. Don't harp on those. Just harp on those who do give. Yeah, you understand? Because we as we say that our attitude towards each other's needs to be strengthened, right? If there's a blockage or something, if you find that you're thinking and acting in the negative towards another person, or for whatever reason, you should check yourself. Because unless that person is actually doing something directly to make your life in danger, right? You shouldn't be harboring anything like that, So like even and like for instance now, as I'm highlighting again, and I'm gonna do it right to the end of this program, unfortunately, for whoever is listening and whatever is listening, right? If you come and you are in disagreement with anything that I'm saying, I'm not gonna hold that against you, because that's truth. That is your truth. Right? Until I can show you a different way that you can accept, right? Or that you can even show me a different way and I accept, right? That is how we progress. That's how we progress in life.
In the light of what you just said, okay? And with brother at work. And because I'm always on the attack. People come at me from all angles. You understand me, right? Especially my people who keeps attacking me. You understand me, because of certain nature, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Or sometimes they want to feel that they can be saying and so forth. And the brother said to me, look, I admire you, But people keep attacking you, and you never seem to get angry. You know?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
said, no, because I know what they don't know, so I don't have to be, you know, because I listen to them, but I know what they don't know. So when they come at me, I'm on a different level, so I don't have to get angry to show whatever it is. You understand me? Because
yeah.
You understand me? They can't come at me with anything that I to belittle me in any sense or form, because they cannot, they can't walk in my shoe, because like just from what their conversation, from their behavior and so forth, because I'll never stoop that low. You follow what I'm saying, right?
Yep.
I don't have to be and I'll just give you one more example before I go back to the subject of the man and woman sort of thing. And it was my wife. One day she was into this place, like was it a hotel or somewhere where the attendant at the thing, receptionist and so forth, start behaving sort of badly with her. And she pulled the person up. Very acute, you know what I mean? Because the person thinks, oh yeah, who is this person?
Yeah. But as they usually do.
Understand, my wife, because I said my wife, she comes from a fairly, noble family, and she has never lived a life of, measliness. I mean, as I said, when I had my shop, she started working. Well, she was at university, college and so forth, but she started working in my shop from day one. So she was managing and so forth. You understand me? And that's what she has always had a position all the way through in life. When she went back home and she was working for Celtel, she was manager of the thing for Ibrahim's company. You know what I'm saying? So she's always had a position of in charge. Like I said, I was in charge of people from since 15 years of age. You know what I mean? So you see life in a total different way. So when people start behaving in a certain way, I have a position like that. I don't have to behave like you. You understand what I'm saying? And that was a taking back for the white girl. She pulled up herself, and my wife take a tail in her backside. You understand me?
Well, this is the thing, because somebody who is humble in their approach, and then these people feel, say, because they're working in certain establishment, and there you go, prejudging. You see? So anyhow, listen, we got our sister Sandra with us right now. I'll just give her a little introduction, Chuny, right? And she can settle herself and come in with herself in a moment, right? Yes, our sister Sandra. Grand risings, my sister Sandra.
Greetings, Grand Rising.
There you go. I've got our brother Akram on the line. I'm kicking the bucket over this morning straight, because boy,
kicking the bear, but kicking the bucket also works. I can hear from the conversation and
because boy, with the incident that's happened, I've shared it with you. You know what's happened in the Peckham High Street business, and then part of it is our attitude towards each other,
Mm.
right? And the support that is required from us, but we have to be prepared to actually give that support as well.
Mm.
And if we are coming with the wrong um, attitude in the first place, then I feel that the integrity is not really in there. Yeah,
Mm. Mm.
and that obviously displays into the results of what was trying to be achieved as well. Yeah.
Mm.
So, anyway. Grand risings, my sister.
Greetings, Brandon.
Come and massage my soul for me now. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. What a day, what a day. Anyhow, listen, we're on our financial journey. Brother Akram, I'm not leaving you out of this conversation here, right? Sister Sandra is guiding us through a
Just one thing, I'm glad that the sister is on
mm,
before we move on to that situation. Again, it's also financial.
mm,
But Sister Sandra, because I'm glad that I didn't bring it up before she comes on.
mm,
And one of the things that I look at and I've been observing, quite a few friends of mine, right, who are doing fairly well. And they've gone back to the Caribbean and has met women there and brought them over here.
mm.
Right? Some of them in not too good situation, but they brought them over here.
Mm,
Now again. And then these same women turn around,
mm,
come out, go through such length of putting up things against them so that they can kick them out of the house. You know what I mean? Because as you know, a woman cry rape or abuse or whatever,
mm,
then they, the government is on their, they just take up whatever it is.
mm,
And I'm saying that these are good people. I mean, these are not bad friends who abuse or whatever. They're well, very well. So, and this woman come here and then get into position and take, take them to court and take the houses
mm,
and sometimes not even just their houses but they want even their parents' house.
mm, mm.
Yeah, yeah. What is it? What is it about our people? We cannot be honest. Here's a man who brings you out from something where you struggle.
Mm-hmm. Well,
And if you want to leave him,
let's you know, that is a subject it can't be addressed right now. It can't be addressed right now. Okay. Respectfully, I'm gonna say we have to come back to that at another time. Yeah, we have to come back to that at another time, right? Because like at the moment, what we're doing, right, in line, it possibly and in line with your program there, right, at the ACU, we're looking for reparations, financial reparations. We position ourselves so that we're stronger in the financial reparations process. Yeah. In other words, we have to educate ourselves on finance. Don't be ignorant to the changing markets, right? Be more fay with investing, right? Um, um, we 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 tend to just leave it up to one person, and we hear about the winners, but we don't know about the losers and things like this, right? The get rich quick scams that are around. You know, we have to be evasive of those type of things there. But is our own ignorance and not doing our due diligence is the reason why we're falling into that as well. And yeah, I don't want to take away the conversation from our sister Sandra this rising. So, my sister Sandra,
Mm.
the platform is yours right now.
So I'd agree with you, Brother Aston, in terms of what Brother Akram was saying.
Mm,
That's going to be a conversation, and my first thought is there's a lot happening, and sometimes from the outside we are seeing the end result, but we're not necessarily party to the beginning of the conversation. And it
mm,
depends on what point you come into the conversation. But what they say, men lie, women lie, but the numbers don't lie. So there's
mm,
something happening there. And I'm not doubting that there's something happening there, because the end result is that individuals are losing what they'd worked for. And
mm,
that's not right in the manner in which it ends up at the close of day. But from a finance point of view, and what we've looked at so far is not necessarily the what we often talk about from a savings and investing. We're looking back, we're looking further back and thinking that, so what's your relationship with money?
mm,
How do you um, what do you tell yourself? What don't you tell yourself?
mm,
What do you understand your behavior to be in relation to that thing called money? Are you then attracting it, or are you then um, dispelling it? Are you then turning it away because the relationship that you have with money? So, from a reparations point of view and from a change in the mindset point of view,
mm,
but just basically from, let's do some action, let's do some of that navel gazing, let's do some of that internal work in order to change the narrative in our head. If we can change it in our head, we can then change it in terms of how we approach the situation. And like you said, that may be a case of doing the due diligence. It may be a case of um, the adjective, those who don't hear will feel. It may be a case of, from a point of trust, we go into various things because we trust somebody else and we trust that they've got our back. So sometimes from a place of trust, we don't do our due diligence because we say we trust that person. Now, the question is, should we trust that person? And to a point, my question is, why not? Because if we get down that road of, well, I'm going to do a due diligence on everything that you say, Brother Aston, then our relationship's somewhat tainted. Our relationship's going to be somewhat um, stop, start, stop, start.
mm,
And when I'm using that word trust, I'm using it on the wider scale, not necessarily just from a finance point of view, but just from a me as a black sister to you as a black brother.
mm,
And if we're coming at it from a space of love, that trust will stand the test of, because you could have been hurt as well as I could have been hurt. If I don't trust you in the first instance, I'm going to say that you brought me into this thing and I've lost X, Y, Z from a monetary point of view. But you may have gone into it through trust because someone else told you about it.
mm,
So when you go back in terms of the ACU and from a community credit union and the nature of how a credit union is um, brought about, it starts with trust in the first instance. Because in order to get I'm going to use the word license, it is the wrong word, but in order to get an agreeable common bond, we need to trust. we need to pool our money, which is an element of trust, before we've actually gone forward and we've gone to the various regulatory bodies in order to become registered as a credit union or to become registered within that financial space. But it comes back to that thing for me called trust. And in some senses, I may turn around and, not with a credit union, but in other aspects from a monetary point of view, lose my shirt, for want of a better word. But that might be a learning for me in terms of not necessarily trusting Brother Aston or not trusting Brother Aston, but it may be a learning for me in terms of, am I a good steward of money? And how do I think about money? How do I manage my money? And in going through that cycle, I may have meant to have lost my money in that aspect because that wasn't my game. That wasn't where I was supposed to be putting my investment, my energies. My energies may have been going to another form of monetary aspect or volunteering that doesn't involve large sums of money or any money. So that's the only thing I've got to add to that, Brother Aston.
These are little things that we have to look at, right? And I'm not talking about, wow, you're going to be a millionaire and all this type of thing there, right? It's to be that effective, how to be effective, right? There has been many a project that has started, right? And then all of a sudden it dissipates. We're talking about, I'm bringing in the conversation generational wealth,
Mm-hmm.
generational well-being around finance, right? Now, obviously, you know, we've gone through a period here where we've experienced a transition of of those from the Africas to the Caribbeans, right? And then what's happened is that they've come here, they've been able to buy homes, take the wealth from those homes, and then return to the Caribbeans and to provide a good stable lifestyle for themselves, for many of them in themselves in their senior years. That generation now is passing on. But what's happened is that what you're finding is that there is a lack of financial income generated from those who have inherited those properties in the Caribbean, right? To both sustain and maintain themselves here in the UK and to maintain and sustain those family properties in the Caribbeans. And the thing is, because of a lot of attitude through families and the non-cohesiveness of a lot of families, that a lot of people are saying, "Oh, just sell it and then we split the money and all them things there," not realizing that the nuclei of a home, right, could be could be a thing that could generate wealth in a way, right? Also, um, taking little steps like basically, you know, number one step, get insurance, right? So, you know, on the passing of whoever, and I don't mean just the parents, the children as well, you know, because unfortunately, you don't know when anybody's going to pass, right? But out of that monies can be used as as a generational wealth building foundation, right? Also, practices like putting things into a trust,
mm,
right? To avoid exorbitant tax payments on exchanging of properties, yeah,
mm, mm,
and also monies as well. It's not a case of, well, yeah, I've got a couple of 100,000 in my bank account here, so it will go to my children.
mm,
It's not necessarily that simple,
mm,
you know. Although we
mm,
would like it to be that way, but it's not.
mm,
Yeah, everybody takes their cut before you get your cut
mm,
again. Yeah,
mm,
so even to prepare for that eventuality,
mm,
right? Clarity of, yes, wills.
mm,
Now, a will, and I'm going to say it straight. A will is not a binding contract. It is only a guide of what you would like to be done, right? It is not a binding contract. So therefore, at any time, somebody could contest that, right? And then it could go through the courts or whatever if you don't come to an agreement or pre-agreement. And then what will happen? What will happen is that all of a sudden you're going to be paying those exorbitant prices again, right?
mm,
Through lawyers, barristers, or whatever, and you're going to lose part of the wealth again,
mm,
right? So clarity through putting things down in wills for your requests, yeah. Educational as well. Education. If you pay for your education, or you're in a position to pay for your education, like what it is now, you're talking about like £10,000 a term on average now,
mm,
right?
mm,
For education, for further education, right? Some courses are going to be more or whatever, but 30,000 for whatever, you know, you're looking at quite a large sum.
mm,
But if you have that put aside, say for instance, uncle, aunt, brother, sister, put a percentage of their money into like a family bank, right? And then you pay for that education. Instead of paying the government back the loan, what you borrowed for them for your education, why can't you be paying back the family bank, which could be used for the next generation?
mm,
Yeah, you understand? Right? All these type of things, we have to be strategic in our movements and our planning in financial. And this is part of our reparatory process of what I see is what is necessary.
mm,
Yeah.
mm.
Okay. Can I bring in our brother Akram into this one, into this conversation?
Yeah, I'm raising my sister, and always good to hear you. Yeah, something that whilst you're speaking, I'm looking at about the situation of wealth and properties and other things like that. And basically, a lot of the things is in the community where in the family, it starts with the family
Mm.
and with the mindset of the family, right? As I say, I've seen the situation where some people they sit down and wait for mommy or daddy to die so that they can get whatever.
Mm.
And when they give it, the first thing they do, boy, I must get myself a Porsche, You understand me? And I remember because my wife, she studied law, and when she went back to Princeton.
Mm-hmm.
She had to go and do her internship there. And at the time, they started bringing in, what do you call it, these Land Cruisers and so forth. Land Cruiser you're looking at in those days, and this is going back well then, maybe 20 something years ago, 30 years ago. And you're talking about £55,000, £60,000
Yeah.
Land Cruiser.
Mm-hmm.
And her boss, the lawyer, said, "Look, that's a house."
Yeah.
You understand? right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a habit, you know. I want to buy something that is so expensive just to keep on the road, unless you have a lot of lavish money, but you spend most of it on. And this is what happens. You know, sometimes you build up whatever you think. I mean, there was this lady also. She had lots of boats, fishing boats, and she used to rent them out. She makes good money and things. She leave it with her son. Son, get it, drink it all out.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? And this is the problem that we face all the time within our family. Do we put our family leave something? Do we want to protect it?
Mm.
I mean, what was the mindset? I mean, that came up. Oh, my dad has done this, so I need to, you know, develop it up. Right now, I have a very good friend in Jamaica who's got lots of properties and other things like that. He's hoping that his children here will go and basically they don't
Right.
want.
You see what you just said there?
Hoping.
He's hoping.
So the question is, what conversations are they having at this current moment in time? So it's not a hope or a wish. It's a I
Mm.
know child number 1 or child number 5 or whatever is going to be stepping into my shoes, and this may be a wrong thought, but sometimes when I'm watching that television and listening to the conversation and things are being passed down the generation, or someone takes on the farm or someone takes on the business, they don't want to take on the business, but they know because they're the firstborn, secondborn, or whatever, that's their duty and they
Mm.
accept it. But we're hoping one of our children are going to do it.
Mm.
Big, different mindset.
Absolutely. 100% there again. Yeah.
But sorry, carry on.
I mean, you know, I, for me, that's you know, it's you shouldn't have to be living in this hope, and that's probably the difference with other nations like the Asians and so forth. Their father built up a business, and whatever happens, you know, they see, hey, we got to carry this on. This was our life, you know, and you know, as I said, okay, let me just put this one way of the mindset that I see among many of the Asian Arabs and other people like that.
Mm.
And you see a guy have business on the high road, okay?
Mm.
Now, a cousin will come and he can go out of the door and leave that shop there because his cousin's going to protect it. Why is his cousin going to protect it? Because the cousin knows that as long as this shop is there, I can wear a shirt.
Mm. Mm.
If I need a shirt, I can go and ask my cousin there. You know, so he treats it like it's his own business,
Mm-hmm.
right? How many of our businesses that you see that the children are coming in, the cousins are coming in to protect that business, right? Instead of trying to break it down, instead of trying to you understand what I'm saying? Protect it, because look, you know, as long as this business is there, we can eat, we can have something to do. And that is what I see among these people. They protect something because they know as long as that thing is there, they will eat. They can put on the shirt. Many of our people don't see that.
Mm-hmm.
No.
They don't look at it that
No,
way.
we
You have, and why is it they don't have? You understand me? They don't say, "Oh, this is my cousin's own or this is my brother's own," but it's also mine.
Okay, these are examples of, like, you know, of the possibilities of. But what are the practicalities that we can actually do right now? Because, you know, going through the program that we're doing here, we like to leave our listeners, our participants, with a task, right? And you know, over the last few weeks, we've had the financial awareness, where you with finances, right? We've also had take a look at what you're actually doing with your finances as well, right? and to try and make that a habit, you know. And now we're looking for what's the next step. What's our next step for the financial reparation process?
So
Well,
something.
to me, okay. To me, it's about us, as I said, protecting what we have, so that we keep going on, right? We see our parents, we see our family have something. Work with them, don't work against them, because as long as they have that, you can eat. As I said, you can eat, you can have a shirt, right? Think it as your own. Don't think it, or it's his. Help him to build it.
Mm.
You follow what I'm saying? Help that person in your family to build what they're building.
Mm.
Go and surround them when the shop is there. Hey, you want to run out this road? I'll stop it. I'll be in here. I'm learning the business. On top of that, I'm also protecting the business.
Mm.
Mm.
Okay, okay, all right then, all right then.
I
Okay. What
like
about
what
you?
you're
What about you,
saying.
Sister Sandra?
I like what you're saying there, Brother Akram, in terms of protecting the business, and recognizing that that business thriving, everybody can eat, which comes back down to that thing called trust. That comes back down to the I'm not no man's an island, so we need to, as a family, we need to keep it going in terms of the next generation. But what Brother Aston was saying in terms of practical steps, and you touched upon something there, Brother Aston. Two things. A was a will,
Mm-hmm.
but B, before you get to the will, the insurance,
Mm-hmm.
and having those conversations about the life insurance. And a number of us individually, collectively, will turn around and say, well, I'm not paying into something like that because I'm not getting any benefit. Thinking about, again, the I word, I'm not getting any benefit. But from a
Mm.
generational wealth point of view,
Mm.
the generations will get the benefit upon your passing, because then within that payout, and there are communities out there that physically and practically make use of life insurance like they do a lottery. But the one thing about their lottery, they're guaranteed of the payout.
Mm. Mm.
So they all pay
I
in.
see. Yeah, yeah,
They all
yeah.
pay in because they're guaranteed of that payout.
Mm-hmm.
And then with that money, then that goes into the business. That goes into the conversations they say, how are we building our empire?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How are we going to manage those funds?
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
the will saying in relation to those funds? How will it be? We know it's going to be paid out because, like I said, that's one of the lotteries. That's not a million to one chance. That's not 100 to 1,000 chance. That's a guarantee.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't. That's one of the games that we don't play, and that's a dead cert. But as a family, we don't play. It could be a case of trust. It could be a case of the elder generation may have thought, well, I'm not going to do that because I'm not getting the payout. It's not coming to me, and they don't look beyond the fact that it's not about me. It's about who I've left in the yard, who I've left in the house. What am I teaching them?
There's a point I would like to point out here as well, right? And I'm just looking it up on Google or
Well,
Microsoft, actually, Microsoft. It says no legal limits, right? There is no legal limits to the number of life insurance policies one person can take out. Some people have one provided for their employers and then a personal one as well. How many you have and what kind they are will depend on what you and your family. Wait a minute. Oh, hold on. I've got to open it up a bit. It's gonna. Where have I got?
But then if what's
Yeah,
your opening?
I got it. I got it. I got it. I got it. Right. It says, right. Oh, family needs. That's it. And what your family needs. Yeah. So what is basically saying is that if you can afford it, just have one as a gift for each of your family, right? And vice versa as well. Yeah. Yeah, because like I feel that because like in the passing of so many, there's of so many times that you're hearing of people who have passed on, right? And then they're putting in a GoFundMe to bury
Mm.
their person.
We shouldn't be doing that.
Huh?
We as a community, as an individual, as a family,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, and when I'm thinking to myself, you know what, some of us mark that lottery with a hope and a prayer.
Mm-hmm.
We ain't gonna get those numbers. The one thing we're
Mm-hmm.
gonna guarantee is that someone that we know in our family will die.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But we're
Okay.
not playing those numbers. And that's the
Yeah,
one
yeah,
thing
yeah.
we
And this is the practicality. We're talking about practicality here, and the generational wealth. So, task for this strong is go ahead, my sister.
that's having a conversation,
Mm.
speaking with um
The whole family,
the
not
whole
just
family,
the parents, the whole family, the children as well. Yeah.
because as much as the and again, when we think about some communities and the generational wealth
Mm,
that they are able to create, it's because everybody, or there are members within that family who will
mm,
pay into an insurance, knowing full well that that insurance is not gonna, they're not gonna, they're not the benefactor. Let's put
mm,
it that way, because they're not the main person or the only person on the will. But they know that when that elder dies, or when that family member dies, that money's coming back into the family, and everyone who's paid in money gets their portion back of what they've paid in, and then whatever's left over goes back into the family pot
mm, mm,
to
mm.
enhance whether or not it's the business, whether or not it's to send over another member of the family so they can open up another business, so they can invest in real estate, whatever the case may be.
Strategic movements, man. Strategic movements, right?
Definitely.
At all stages. Yeah, right. Run it like a CEO.
Yes, you are the CEO of your life.
Exactly. Yeah.
Why do we hand that responsibility over to somebody else? Why don't
Exactly.
we sit around the table? And sometimes we say, oh, we're never invited to the table. You've got your own table. As a family, you've got a table.
Mm-hmm,
Use it.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Don't store it away just to rest newspapers on or nothing on
mm-hmm.
your elbows.
Exactly. Exactly. And it's very important that we actually take this very, very serious, right? And the reason why we're introducing these series of like conversations and actions, right, is because it is absolutely necessary. We are in the process of preparations for our reparations, right? And when I say reparations, at any time they could they're looking at deporting individuals left, right, and center, right? If you've got no foundation on them taking you from the streets, all of a sudden, boom, to to put you to wherever they want to put you, right? Where's your foundation? What foundation do you have, right? Also, I would encourage you to do, and this is an outside thing, and I'm sure Brother Akram will back me up on this. If you have a home or you have a family home outside of the country or outside of the place that you're residing in now, have a local bank account. Have a local bank account where your family is, right? Trickle feed, trickle feed an amount into that, so that if anything happens, you're not just going to go there and be destitute as well. Yeah, Brother Akram.
Yeah, most certainly. I agree wholeheartedly. I agree wholeheartedly on that. And,
Mm,
you know, but there's a business idea I wanted to put to Sister Sandra. You see,
okay.
she's in Jamaica.
Okay then. Are you listening, Sister Sandra? Go
It's
I
ahead.
am.
one of the ideas that I had when we set up the HTU, that as we develop, this is something that we could take on. But I don't mind sharing this, and one of the areas, because so many people have had problems of sending money back home to their families and other things like that to get things done. So many lawyers there are bad-minded and they treat it, they're so dishonest. And it's to set up a company that is honest enough to say, well, look, you know what? If you want to build your home, give us your money. We will look after everything for you. You'll purchase the land if you want it. We will do everything for you. An honest company, right? And that company really probably do well. So when people come abroad, they want to do something back home, they have a company that they can go to, that they can trust, and everything will be okay until it, look, here you are, you send us your money, and here is the key to your home. You know what I'm saying? That is something that is crippling us, in our community. So many people are sending money back home to get things done, and it's not getting done because why? We have so many dishonest lawyers and families and other things like that. And what we need is a company that can be operating in an honest way, that knows the territory, right? Knows who to go and see, knows what to do, and everything like that. And I believe that company can probably do very well, and you're the agent for that, for these people, and at the end, you give them their home and you get your money. You get your cut for doing the job.
Mm.
You know what I mean? I don't know what Sandra said.
So I wholeheartedly agree with the concept, and I believe it's something that is definitely needed. Comes back to that word of trust. So the company in itself and will need to depend on others. So that means you may say, okay, you're going to send it over to me for argument's sake, but then I'm not the person that's going to be hiring the lawyers, so we know we've got our paperwork in place. I'm not going to be the person who's going to be doing the building, sourcing the materials, etc., etc. So from an element of trust, there needs to be a number of people within that circle who are doing it not just for what I can cream off the top, but I'm doing it for the greater good. Or if it's one individual, they're doing it for the greater good. So I know that there's someone that I know, and from a shipping point of view and shipping things over, he's based in Jamaica. He's currently in America, seeing whether or not he can make the appropriate links in America so that he can receive goods in America. He knows the system in Jamaica in terms of clearing the items and the goods. He's got a warehouse in Jamaica. So he's looking to say that can he as an individual expand what he's doing? But doing it as an individual is all in good. But if you're talking about building property or maintaining property, houses, whatever, it's going to take more than the one individual. So it can. I love the idea, and I see no reason why it can't be done. It just means a group of people on this side, whatever country, whichever island, coming together and saying, yeah, let's take this on board. because we know that exactly the same way in terms of the smaller scale, individuals want to ship something over to Jamaica, then you've got one cost, and I know I've been involved in it quite a few times recently. You've got one cost in terms of the UK, and you think, okay, I'm going to either get it to the door. You've got your customs who want to open the barrel, the box, and they may then want to take out contents of, or they may not because they're very honest. But then you've got another set of charges, and you thought to yourself, hang on a minute, I don't understand why the charges are there, but you pay for it because you think, you know what, I want my goods. Or you take the bull by the horns and you say you're going to go up to the wharf. And that becomes in itself an all-day experience. And as you're sitting down there, and I've done that recently a few times, you're seeing the signs on the wall that say, do not, if anyone asks you for any money, do not give them any money. So that means that's telling you that they're going to be asking you for money. And they do still, but they do it in an underhand way. And you end up thinking to yourself, you know what, I just want to get out of here. I've been here all day. My belly no longer belongs to myself because it on itself has gone on strike because it's not being fed. Because I've been here all day going from one desk to another and handing over money. And you think to yourself, there has to be a better way of doing it. But in order for it to happen, you need to have that element of trust. But I love the idea. I love it.
I agree with you that trust is what that's one thing I'm saying. You set up that company, find the partners that you will work with, right? And then, as I said, find the partners you want to work with, and this person is responsible for this area, but this person is responsible for that area. And when certain things come in, just like the shipping agent, I remember because my friend has a shipping agent in Tanzania, and every morning every person come and they know what their role is going to be. They know what they're going to do. This one has to go to to this department to look over that certain thing. The other one has to go to that department to look over certain thing. And that can be a vital tool. As I said, it's so much needed in our community because there's so much. It's really painful what is going on with our people. But this is something that I've always had in mind. I was thinking that once the ASU came up, this was a department that I would have liked to bring into the ASU's department because, as I said, it is so vitally important in our people. Because so many people are having so much problem, right? Trying to get things done and to find the honest people or honest lawyer or honest.
No, I agree. If you can make it happen, you may not necessarily, and sometimes, and there's that thing in terms of the thought process is, yes, let's make it happen. How do we make it happen in terms of the practicality steps? We may not know all the pieces of the jigsaw, but we know enough pieces of the jigsaw. Let's start having those conversations. There will be enough people on the ground who are honest. It's connecting those dots. But I love the concept because I know on different levels in different countries the challenges that individuals have who want to build and come back home, wherever home may be, whether it's their parents' home or whether it's the home that they still feel spiritually connected to in Africa or another part of the world.
Unfortunately, some of us have experienced some things like with our families, direct families and all that. But if you could find, as you say, to establish a good business of complete integrity, would be a beautiful thing as well, So yeah, why not? Why not? Because it's one of those services that I see as a necessity. Our desires and our wants to actually make things happen doesn't seem to be supported from both ends of the string as such.
mm,
Right? You know,
mm,
they're not pulling to maintain the tension. It just seems
mm,
to be it just seems to be a one-way thing.
mm,
Yeah. Yeah.
mm.
So,
Mm.
but you know, you know what, brother Akram, I thank you for that suggestion there, because you know it is part of our reparations as well, plugging that hole that has been a plague for us for many a year.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
so
Mm. I agree with that. Just I smile thinking about how it can work if we work together, or when we work together rather than if, because if gives an impression that it will never happen. But when we work together, I smile knowing the outcome on
But
and for the
sincerely,
family.
I mean, it's something I think that you come back home, something to look into and see if you can find the right kind of people to work with. You know what I'm saying? And put the
Mm,
idea forward. And if you can, because I said there's a big demand for that,
mm,
very very big demand. That
mm,
sort of continue hearing people saying, "Boy, I try to get some land and the lawyer do this and all that sort of thing." But you have a reputable company that
mm,
can manage these things. They know well the whole territory, right?
mm,
That
mm,
yes, want some land. Just like here, you have the agents. You put your things. You want to go and buy some land. You buy your house,
mm,
and you have the people
mm,
who knows how to go about getting this done and getting that done. And it's
mm,
something so much so is needed. A very honest company. And I'm telling
mm,
you, if you have that
mm,
honest company, it's still great, because I'm sure
mm,
people are really wrapping up, because so many times they're hearing the situation from brothers and sisters of how they send money back home to get this done, and the lawyer is running them around and totally dishonest. Many of these people, I don't know why they're so dishonest in their activities. You
mm,
know,
mm,
but as I said, the company itself will be carrying that strain, because if anybody who misbehaves, well, of course they know they're only employers and they will get the sack. You know what I mean?
mm,
So
mm,
therefore, it's important that they carry out their work.
mm,
You need to go and see about this department down there. Go down there and get that sorted out,
mm,
right?
mm,
You need to go and see that department down there. You go and see that out, and you bring the results at the end of the day, right?
mm,
You're not handling money. You're not handling this, right? So the company is the one that is responsible for all the transactions and whatever is taking place. All that
mm,
person is doing is just going and getting the paperwork done and whatever it is that needs to be done. You know,
mm,
and I believe that it's something that can work. And as I said, I would have liked if the ACU had moved much faster. I was hoping that by now we would have been on that road to try to
mm,
set up a company that can do that. You know.
mm, mm. No, I like I said, I love the bigger picture, the end game in relation to ACU and how it can operate not only in the UK shores but further afield, and um, doing something under the name that other individuals see and respect because of the integrity that's behind that company. So yeah, I do love it. So if we just mindful of the time, and I think that's probably the reason why Brother Aston just played that little
we
snippet
got
in.
5 minutes, 5
Yeah,
minutes.
yeah, yeah. So for
Yes.
me, and just wrapping up, I'm going to use the language that I use. Some of us play that thing called the lottery, and we've got a 1 in 60 million chance of winning, whether it
Mm-hmm.
be postcode or whether it be the actual daily or weekly or whatever lottery. But
Mm-hmm.
we've got a lottery called life that we're guaranteed of winning
Mm-hmm.
from a place of certainty, but we don't play. We need to
Exactly.
have those conversations amongst the family in terms of pooling our resources.
We definitely need to do that. We definitely need to be putting ourselves in that position there. Well, I'm hoping that that the advice that we'll be giving you over the last few strongs that you've been following and acting upon as well, right? And it's all part of the reparatory just process that we need to participate in as well. And as we draw to the end of the month, we shall be investigating another step forward, right? All we want to do is strengthen you and for you to take the actions that are necessary, right? So that when you're called upon, you're ready to take action right away. No, don't let nothing leave you behind. Don't let nothing leave you behind. Yeah. Okay. Right. So here we are. And I want to say thank you once again, my sister Sandra, for joining us on the Grand Risings, Galaxy's Grand Risings this strong again.
Thank you for
Right.
the
We look forward to your future participation and everything. Actually, you're due to be joining us here over this side of the water soon, huh?
Yeah, probably the end of the month.
End of the month. Or probably the end of the month. Why, you see, you're busy, you see, you're busy. All right, then. You take care now. Right?
Okay.
And we shall be talking again soon. Brother Akram?
Okay, family. Peace
All right.
be
Yeah,
unto
that's
you.
it. Also, next song when we can
Wow, that was
that would be great.
okay then. Great. Okay then. Thank you once again for joining us on the Grand Rising Show. I think it's actually Sister Shanice who's actually sitting in for our brother on at the top of the hour of 10 a.m. Right, Sister Shanice shall be there. So it'll be in full flow conversation. You know how it goes. You know how it goes. People like to talk to Sister Shanice. But anyway, maybe we come with too hard a topic for them to discuss at this time of morning. Come with the spaghetti head. Go on with yourself. All right then. Take care now. Have a great day.
Peace.
All right then. Let's up.
We got this. Yeah. I feel make it. Ooh. And I have no other choice but to be strong. We gonna make it. God. I am a voice of hope, and I just wanna let you know that I believe in our strength as a people and the promise of a bright tomorrow. And I want you to believe and trust. I know God is watching over us, and I believe it all come together now. Everything will be alright. We only press on. Strength of the bond and the ties among this generation. Unite and be one. The fight will be won. Come on, Caribbean. Don't worry about the circumstances. It's just about the prayers and the madness. Together we will take our chance at life and conquer it. Don't worry about the circumstances. It's just about the prayers and the madness. Together we will take our chance at life, 'cause we got this. We got this. We got this. We got this. Caribbean people, we got this. 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 I am the strength within you. I know that we will rise again, and I'm sure we can live on before. It's a fight and we must all be shared. I can't believe this day has come. For our sake, we must keep distance. Everyone looking out for their neighbor. I live in the Caribbean sun. It's time to be strong, the battle is on.
And the future of each generation. Every daughter and son united as one.
Sing on, Caribbean. Don't worry about the circumstances. It's just about the prayers and the love. Together we will take our chance at life. Don't worry about the circumstances. Must come. It's just about the prayers and the love. Together we will take our chance. No stress. We got this.
Rough it up, they dirty enough, still have to get up. Don't hurt me now, the giddy and when happy stand up. As virus a rush, we still can't touch, we still can't touch we. We have faith, hope, strength, protection of the Almighty. And we prayed up, yes, yes, we prayed up. And we stayed up, yes, yes, we stayed up. Head high full of confidence, we not keep pockets, tell them we never gave up. Make up essential workers, rest in peace, we fallen soldiers, corona can't follow. We West Indies, one love and unity.
Don't worry about